What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Jump Tezuka Mangalku special. As always, joined by Jose and Josh. So for those of you who don't know what Jump Tezuka is or the contest that's going on, it is the 100th anniversary of this contest, question mark. And basically, they're allowing submissions worldwide from aspiring manga creators where you can submit it to this contest. They will pick out the few and the best ones, and then they will get read by really, really famous mangaka. I'm talking like author of Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Blue Exorcist, My Hero Academia, Slam Dunk, and then some of the Tezuka Productions people as well. So in order to lighten their load, they personally asked us, guys, please read these manga and give us the best of the best so we don't have to do it. And we were like, you know what? We got tons of time. No problem. Some of you guys make okay manga, so we'll do it for you, you know?
Yeah, I remember that conversation. There was a lot of tears coming from them.
Yeah, Oda did not take it really nice when I told him it was just okay. So, anyways, to continue on from that, we're going to go ahead and read 3 manga every week. We each picked one, and we've all read it ahead of time. We'll give you guys kind of a synopsis of what happens inside, what we like about it, what we didn't like, and then at the very end of the video, we will come to hopefully an agreement on what we think is the best manga we read and declare it as our winner for this week. So starting off, the 3 we're doing this week is going to be Cactus Coyote, that's my pick, by DOLLARCOIN with the S being a money sign. Then Jose picked Terra-8 by Hefka. And then Josh, you picked Hykings, Doric Coliseum. I hope that's how I pronounce it. And that's by Michael M. Maier. But I think he has like a side name, M3 is what he put at the end of that. So M3, he'll be referred to as like M3.
Yeah. I do appreciate the pronunciation of the colon. I think that was very necessary.
So people know that it's there.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with mine. We're going to go Cactus Coyote, then we're going to go Terra-8, then we're going to go into Hykings. So to start you off, Cactus Coyote, first thing off the bat, the art style is very unique. It's almost cartoony. And I think that's on purpose, as you kind of find out to see. He's basically kind of a Wile E. Coyote type of guy, but in a detective outfit.
Would you say that it kind of was reminiscent of like the
Roger Rabbit?
Exactly. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Very, very almost Roger Rabbit would be a better example. So we basically start off in a town. It's called Spinaroonie Town, and we start near the Roulette Palace, which is just basically a giant casino.
I love all the names in this.
It's fantastic. So, and we have the classic situation where the main character has a gambling addiction, gets thrown out of the casino because he just has no more money. Classic. We've seen that a million times. So we find out that he's a smuggler because he immediately talks to somebody
a respectable businessman.
Okay.
Yeah, remember it was crossed
the smuggler is crossed out, but he's a smuggler.
Yeah.
And he's talking on his radio handheld computer, I don't know, to somebody about an item, and then he gets money wired to him. So he's a smuggler in exchange for items. Which he immediately spends that money onto trading cards.
Oh. Was it trading cards or was it
Terra cards?
I thought he had a hooker.
It's trading cards because the picture is of like a fishnet ass, but then in the bottom left it says trading cards purchased.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
That's okay. I didn't see that part.
Yeah. So after that, he opens up the trading cards, which is pretty cool. And it looks like I get a little confused on this. It looks like the trading cards might actually do stuff for him. I don't know. Yeah. There were the one part where he actually looks like he used the trading cards. That's the part where I got confused. I'll get to that. So he gets a mission to go to a famine-controlled slave world, which seems to be like a faction of the world. But famine is just a singular man who is also like a dealer, which seems like the guy he's talking to on the phone. But he's referred to as a horseman. So like I imagine one of the 4 horsemen, like he's just super powerful, kind of like One Piece, Immediately after that, Cactus Coyote runs into his loan shark asking for his money, who is an actual shark in this one.
Yep.
So the loan shark is an actual shark. And he owns 9 figures to this guy, which, that's fucked.
A lot.
And for some reason, he shows up with his gang. He's got like a fucking Gary the Snail with a knife. He's got like a whole myriad crew of people. And they show up with their truck of, quote, fireworks, which I don't know why they're just walking around with that, but okay.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes you know what to do with that.
Yeah, so at this point, they want their money from Cactus Coyote, and a brawl is going to start. We all have seen this before. And this is where I get confused, okay? So something gets thrown, like, behind the shark, or I don't know what happened there.
I know he throws, like, a smoke grenade.
Yeah.
So he spits out the smoke grenade, but before that, like, something happens where, like, something gets catapulted. I don't know what that was. But yeah, he spits out a smoke grenade, and then everybody just starts firing into the smoke because fuck it, why not? And he dodges very cartoon-esque, like pulling himself to the side, going all snaky,
like
you know.
loopy.
Yeah, very cartoon. And then he hacks the fireworks, which makes me think he used the trading card that said hack on it, because one of them was a hack trading card, and another one was to launch fireworks, but these aren't actual fireworks as you come to find out. So I think he just used the hack one. So he hacks the, quote, fireworks and makes them all shoot into the air. And that's when we find out that the fireworks are actually, I think they call them war-grade missiles. So they ain't for fucking around, and it launches up into space and destroys 4 different random ships that are up in the atmosphere, who are like all different ships from 4 different factions, like huge factions. You have the Fox Pirates, Daikon 5, Anu Confederation, and the Criminal Empress. Destroys their like big ship of all 4 of them, 4 different ships. And now everybody wants a piece of fucking Cactus Coyote because they just immediately know that he did it. I don't know how, but they immediately like, yeah, fuck you, Cactus Coyote.
So while I was reading that, I feel like I skipped a page or something because I didn't know, I didn't hear the weapons grade part, and I didn't see. So I'm just gonna be honest, it was confusing. Confused? I felt like they threw a fucking smoke grenade at me while I was reading it, and I had no idea why all these people were coming after me.
Yeah, the smoke grenade was the one part I was confused at, because before he starts kind of doing the dodge, like he's kind of doing some slashing movements in the smoke grenade. And I was confused as to what was happening there. I don't know. So, but the smoke grenade part was definitely a little confusing, but it makes sense with later context clues and all that stuff. So, fast forward, he basically heads out into space to start heading towards the slave world. You find out it's named F5 Mine 1, I think. I don't know how you'd even pronounce that, which is for the mission where he wants to go smuggle the item for the guy he was talking to. And a space chase ensues with a couple of the factions of the destroyed ship now wanting to chase after Coyote. And so they're all basically chasing him. And here's where shit gets kind of wild, because Coyote is about to get caught by one of the factions where he takes out 3 separate currencies of coins, smashes them together to make 1 coin, then eats said coin, thus causing the reactor that is inside of his belly to like pop off, like start going into overload, and sends his ship flying Mach 5. Like he attaches himself to the back of his ship, eats the coin, the reactor inside starts going, and he just fucking booms.
Yeah.
This is super cartoony. Like,
yeah, and this is an accurate description of what's happening here, because then the ship kind of hits the ground or gets really close to the ground and skids, and then the reactor, which is inside of his stomach, explodes.
Yep.
And just creates like a fucking giant explosion and sends him flying like a pancake into the sky. Like literally a pancake with eyes. So he gets sent right up, and classic cartoon, lands right into a patch of steel cacti, where he proceeds to do the classic off-screen, like, ouch, 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 trying to get out of it, and then you see he's just covered in fucking, like, needles and shit. He comes out, he does, like, a weird flex to kind of show that he's tough, but then goes to pull out a a needle, and he just, like, he's like, oh, I took too much damage. And here's where I get confused again. Last page.
Oh, the last page?
Did he die? He turns into, like, a ghost.
Let me double
like
check.
A ghost with like a fucking Templar signal on, and I don't know if that's just him saying I need it, because he says he needs the rest. Okay, it does kind of look like a cactus too, but it looks like his body leaves his soul, and like he goes like the last panel on the page before that, it looks like he like passed out or something. Like that's just too much for him. And then his soul like leaves his body in the next page, and he's got like a kind of like a cactus garb. It looks almost like a Templar thing.
Yeah.
So I assume that's just the cartoony theme, and he's not actually dead, because obviously you wouldn't have a series without Cactus Coyote. But that's the end of it. And it says this journey has just begun or whatever. Classic like kind of cliffhanger thing, and that's the end. So it's a gambling addiction, into loan sharks, into firing missiles, into destroying other people's ships, into a space chase, into crashing, into exploding, into steel cacti, into passing out / dying. I don't know.
So what'd you think of it?
Okay, so the art style I thought was fantastic. Like, I would give the art a real, like, I think that was some of the most unique art for sure. It wasn't just trying to emulate the classic, like, shonen art.
Yeah.
So I really like that. There really isn't that much of a story, as I just summarized right there. It's just kind of like a quick series of events. I don't know what his goal is. He's a smuggler.
Kind of
it was fun. I thought it was a fun manga. But that's about it. Like, I'm not necessarily wanting to read more of this. I felt like I just kind of watched a short cartoon, which is probably accurate to what they're going for.
So I don't know if it was just because I was like zooming through it, but like the art style and the amount of like different shit, like they had to keep saying like, oh, like you said, there's 4 different confederations, a bunch of loan sharks. There's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that are profiteers. He has trading cards. They do all this stuff. He's got a reactor and something. All of that information was just dumped on you, and then with the art style, like, and the way the action moved, I could not literally keep up with what the fuck was going on the whole time.
I didn't really have a problem with keeping up, but
that,
yeah,
no,
I followed it well enough, but there were little things that I was a little confused about.
Yeah, and like it felt like at the beginning the art style was like super structured and like, you know, the city was really well done. I really liked it, and then it just felt like it kept slowly degrading and it kept getting more like I think it might have been the cartoon, you know, how they were doing the wavy, like there wasn't like defined lines. So it was
very stylized, and I think that was on purpose.
Yeah,
I think so.
But I definitely feel like it would have been better suited as like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style thing, where it would have been an actual like
this
colored
is one of
cartoon.
those ones where I feel like if it was turned into an anime and they could really stylize it like a cartoon, it would be pretty cool looking.
Great.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's just there's a lot.
I like the vibe of it, especially how he speaks and everything.
I really liked, like, honestly, I loved like the casino little town that they were hanging out in. I thought that was cool. When he gets kicked out of the casino, you see a bunch of posters for like shit that they have. They have like a juke robot that is just like dancing and looks like it plays music, and it's got a whole bunch. The world is very cool. But we're quickly ripped out of that. So straight into space to go do something else, which again was cool. I'm going to say vice captain or lieutenant of
Lieutenant Eyecatcher,
the Fox Pirates, the girl that wanted to chase him farther.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. But yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's not my favorite. It's not the best thing I've ever, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, I agree.
Liked it. Enjoyed.
So that's pretty much all I got to say about Cactus Coyote. I gave you the full rundown, the fucking bullet points. That's Cactus Coyote for you. And that, once again, that was by Dollar Coins, but the S is a $sign. So, Jose, you want to go next? You did Terra-8. And by the way, just so everyone knows, mine was about 40 pages. Jose's is the shortest at about 20 pages. And Josh, I think yours was 55?
Yeah, Josh's was like 50.
51.
Okay. So, Jose, go ahead. Terra-8 by Hefka.
But yeah, so far I like just the opening page of it. It's got like multiple characters, so you can tell there's going to be a setup of some kind.
So the setup for this one, like when you first start reading, it is very much like if you grabbed a manga volume off of the shelf. Like where it's got the cover page in full color, and then it has the like how do you read this thing on the page after that, and then it goes into. This felt to me the most like an actual manga, like as if this was just going to be a regular first chapter to a manga out of anything that we've read so far.
Yeah.
To begin, it like literally starts in a city called Kaja, I think.
Oh,
Kaja.
Cage. Shit.
Where there's going to be some big event that only happens every 100 years or so, and then it kind of just leads into the main character, Nolan, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just kind of your stereotypical kid. He's just chilling. You know, he's bored of his life. Nothing fancy's going on, so he's just like, oh, I wish there was something going on. Which a guy comes out of his house and it ends up being his dad, and he's like, get your ass down here, kind of telling him what to do, and he's like, oh, that's weird, my dad doesn't talk to me like this sometimes.
Yeah, they have a tumultuous
it's
a harsh relationship. Let me just they're not on the best of harsh, terms. Yeah.
So he comes in, and his dad's just kind of sitting down. He's like, well, aren't you gonna look at it? It's right here on the table.
Yeah, it's a Smash Bros invitation.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, he finally gets to it, and he reads it, and he's like, oh, you're playing a joke on me. What do you mean I've been selected to be in this century's I think it's an arena?
Yeah, I think it's just called the arena. I think that's just what it's referred to as.
He still thinks his dad's messing with him, and he's like, no, I'm not messing with you, this is real. And then he kind of starts to freak out once he realizes that his dad's legit not lying to him. All along with all of this, it's revealed that there's other races other than humans. So there's like mages who constantly dominate this, and echoes, which aren't described, but they use kind of like shadow powers, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. At first it looked like there was just a dude holding like a hawk on his arm, and that's all I got from that picture.
Yeah, it just says they have a talent for combat, right? Isn't that what it says? I don't think they really say much aside from that.
But I mean, his dad starts encouraging him, and he's like excited, and he's like, "You could do some good for humans, and all this and that." Yeah, so it's like the next day, and to which his dad starts coming like, "Come on, like take me on." He's like, "I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can, because those guys will hit you even harder tomorrow." And then they just proceed to like spar, and to the point where like the kid's moving fast, but the dad's like, "Oh, he's gotten slower. It's been 2 years. I can tell he's slow." Dodges it, and then just punches him like across the yard.
Yeah, it was like a fucking Dragon Ball Z-esque punch.
Yeah, very, very like, I don't know, like that.
To quote it, "Boom."
Yeah, boom. Yeah, kid comes out and he's just like, oh, I guess he's a little rusty, whatever. But then the kid kind of just dashes at him, dodges the attack, punches his dad right in the gut, and his dad, like a tough man's like, yeah, that didn't hurt, whatever. Then starts walking away and he's like, fuck, that really hurt. And that's honestly
about it, right?
Yeah.
So this, like I said in the beginning, before you start going, it feels very like this is not long chapter. This is very much a standard like manga chapter length, like about 20 pages. That's why it felt just like a regular manga. Like I think even at the end, it says next chapter comes out in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's something that's going to be continued. And there's stuff that they kind of hide in there. Like they hint at something happened between him and his dad, obviously, because he mentioned
like a little bit of a falling out.
He hasn't talked to me since that event. And he reminds me of the dad. I don't know what his name is. Does he ever get a name?
I don't think so.
No, I don't
he
think
reminds me very, very much of Ichigo's dad.
Like, oh my god, yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Incredibly like that. But it's weird because like you think he's a hard ass, but then he's immediately super supportive. Like once like okay, I gotta start training you. Let's do this thing. I'm so proud. Like when he gets punched, he's so happy. It's like that is like I can't wait till I can't wait till everybody else sees how hard a human can hit them or something like that.
I can't wait to see their faces when they get punched in the face by a human.
Yeah,
or something like that.
That's pretty much it. And he does. I did write down a quote because it says he wants him to use that opportunity so Keija, which is I guess the place where he's from, can finally recognize his true potential and value. But they also mentioned that the government is the one that picked him. So I would assume they know his true value and potential.
But they do say that they don't understand why he got picked. Like it's just totally random. He hasn't done.
Well, he says that himself. He doesn't know why he gets picked.
I think at some point they do mention that he's not going to be by himself.
Oh, like
he says you're not by yourself, but I feel like it's more that the dad's like backing him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got as well. I didn't get that as a literal you'll have a partner.
I did take it the way Jose was taking it at first, and then I was like, there's no other build.
No, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
I forgot that intro slide had 5 people on it or 5 or 6 people.
That's where I got the
I saw that it was Jose was starting to read it
because I think
maybe he isn't by himself.
If you go back to the first actual page of the manga, I think someone is holding a flyer and it says celebrating the 100th anniversary of Terra-8. I think is what it says in the flyer, and it's got a picture of people on there.
Squad Terra-8.
Yeah. So I think that'll be something related to the arena. Yeah.
So I think that's the OG. They're gonna be the new Squad Terra-8.
Oh,
I get it.
The arena is kind of like the tryout for Terra-8.
Yeah.
And
if you look at
it, crazy stuff going on after that.
Yeah, they have like it looks like a big bunch of like really buff heroes, and then if you go one page back, it's like the kid version of them, like they're gonna grow up into being something like that. Oh, okay. I did not get that first read through.
Yeah, I saw so let's just be honest here. The Jump Tezuka reader is actually pretty good. I actually like it. You can set it to what is my favorite way to read manga online. Scroll. Where it makes it really big, so you can really see all of the art and shit. You just scroll and it just automatically does the pages. So it's the best. That's the best way to read it. The only problem with that is when it's a 2-pager, like an art spread.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it fucks up. But I think that's the people who upload it fucking that up because other mangas did it fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, closing thoughts on Terra-8, it's good. It's fine. It's good. It's a little short. We don't really get much aside from like a quick training session. So that kind of sucks.
It ended off with him kind of leaving.
I almost wish we could have got chapter 2 and read it as like a bunch.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It feels like they already have all this stuff prepared, and instead of like, as I brought it up before, like if you want to win this contest, I would almost modify your approach. It may have worked if you released like a volume and all of this was in one go, and you could read chapter 2, chapter 3, etc. But yeah, my only note for this was a lot of prep with little payout. Like it didn't do anything.
That's why I'm just wishing. Because I feel like chapter 2 is going to be him arriving to the arena.
Yeah,
and that would be
so much lore.
Like him meeting everybody else.
Yeah, or like setting up to go do whatever the arena is. It'd be like, okay, cool. Everybody loves tournament arcs. Like, cool.
Yeah.
It was such an opposite thing going from Cactus Coyote to this, where Cactus Coyote just dumped fucking every bit of the world at you. And then this one was kind of just like, here's a little bit, and I hope you liked it, you know?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, speaking of possibly modifying your submission, it's perfect. Let's go into Hykings, Doric Coliseum. That's by M3, Michael M. Maier. Josh, it's your pick, so go ahead.
Hykings, Doric Coliseum. So basically we start with the bounty hunter. His name is Big Gun Bill. Enters a town, and he's just in a fucking saloon. He kind of gets a little bit of a word saying that, hey, you're going to join the Doric Coliseum. You know, there's a bunch of bounties. Are you looking for those? And he's like, yeah, you know, maybe. So it was they kind of just skip past it, but basically this is a massive coliseum that was built within a fucking day. And so, you know, it's for these gladiatorial games. He's immediately scouted out by Sono, who's this like shady announcer guy, and before he meets Big Gun Bill, he's pretty much like, hey, this is one of them. So you know that Big Gun Bill is a part of some like weird group or something like that, and he's being kind of like scouted for. So Sono invites him, basically says, hey, do you want to join? You know, our number 3 has a huge bounty on him. And he immediately puts him into this like trial. The trial kind of is this big ape. You get a little bit of backstory on who created the Coliseum, but that's about it. Like the guy had to capture all these apes and subdue them. And then it almost felt like Big Gun Bill was no longer the main character, because he essentially feels like he gets trapped in that trial and Sono just dips out. Like this was a trap. It felt like.
Well, Sono got upset that he was insulted by Bill, so he completed the trial. But then Sono was like, "Hey, fuck you for being an asshole. I'm gonna make you fight 3 more. I'm gonna go check out what's going on over there."
But it also felt like the way he walked away. I was like, "Is he just gonna leave him in there? Like, was that just some like?"
I never got that impression. I always kind of assumed that it was like, let's go see what's going on over there.
Got you. I did get the like, oh, you pissed me off, but like for some reason I got this like much stronger sense like Sono just dicked him. But so you kind of meet you know that there's 3 top gladiators, obviously the top 3. You meet the number 2. She does some brief, very difficult to understand move and defeats an ape. And then you get Big Gun Bill and Saru, who is the 3rd strongest gladiator. They immediately go up against each other.
Let's pause for a second and note that Josh didn't say the name of the woman character. So
I didn't write it down. You're right. Oh my God.
Shining Shadow Shiro.
Shiro.
Yep, Shining Shadow Shiro.
Sexist.
Yeah, I was just about to call myself out. Fuck. Well, let's just start over.
Her move was Angel Claws, Twin Shadow Sword style Angel Claws.
Yeah, but she's literally there for like a page, and you kind of notice this with a lot of the characters. They don't do a whole lot in this chapter. They're kind of just there.
I disagree 100%. So
really?
Yeah, we can talk about it at the end.
Okay, sounds good. So Saru the Barbarian immediately starts fighting Big Gun Bill, and we cut to this like prison cell with this guy Nora and this girl Fu. Nora seems to be like Fu's jailer or some weird shit. You're not really sure what they never really go about it, and we'll discuss it later apparently, but they're really there just for exposition. They just kind of tell you some stuff that goes on, and that's about it. They don't do anything else for the story. Then you're introduced to Master Titus, who's the lord of the area, and he's the one to initiate the fight. He's also got a weird like horn demon looking assistant, Augusta, and they seem like they've got some weird secret agenda, but it's pretty much just like, begin, go fight. So they start fighting, and it's immediately reminiscent of like Renji fighting McCree. It's I didn't want it because I know
at the start 100%.
Yeah. And last time, like when we did this, I like did that too, where it was like Kingdom Hearts-esque stuff. So I was trying not to do it for this video. but it just kept getting stronger. Like it's Renji's blade almost, and
it's straight up Zabimaru.
Yeah, and apparently it extends at some point. I didn't get that vibe, but
that was like the first move he did. Like right at the start, he extended his sword.
But then he doesn't do it again, and that's when they say, "Oh, his swords are extending, etc."
Yeah, he turns into Naruto after that. So
yeah, he does.
Right. It's just Kagebunshin. And so they kind of duke it out. It's kind of just like a back and forth. Like one gets fucked up, then the other person gets fucked up, and then fucking McCree gets his arm cut off, which they made it seem like he didn't. Like, at first, it looked like, yeah, okay, he just got his arm cut off. Then you find out he has this special ability. They're called Mongs, which was given to us by Nora and Fu. Essentially, they're just, like, weird powers attached to weapons and animals that just kind of randomly manifest. That was about it as far as their description. You kind of get the fact that McCree, or Big Gun Bill, has, like, a phoenix of sorts, or, like, a hawk.
But his Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
What? What are we talking?
His
He's
spirit
talking
animal.
about he uses some because
let me go to the page.
Because Renji guy uses 4 furious Cobra Kings.
Yeah, he's got like snakes and like monkey stuff.
That makes sense
going
though,
for
because Renji's Bankai or Shikai is a monkey snake thing.
Yeah. But basically, you find out he's got a thing called, I believe, Haddock, which is his Mong. And
I feel like I'm pretty sure that only his weapon is a Mong, and he's just doing fighting styles for that other stuff. I don't think he has a monkey or a snake or a hawk.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Like there's no backing to it?
Because they say that a unique animal can awaken to the power or a weapon, and they both say that their weapon is a Mong.
Yeah, so but I'm just saying there's like this Savage Sky Hunt, which
I think that's just like the name of a move that they're doing.
Got you. Yeah, I couldn't tell because they do have like that animation or that like picture of like a fiery looking phoenix or something behind him. But yeah, no, I get you.
Does it make sense? It could be like Guy when he uses the tiger attack.
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Yeah, and basically, Big Gun Bill gets up, shoots him in the head, and everyone's kind of like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." You also hear like a side conversation with the Lord Titus or Master Titus that he was upset with Sono for pitting the two of them against each other because they're a race called Hykings, which appears to be kind of rare, but a lot of the people that were in the audience did not like them. They were like kind of like, good, let them both kill each other kind of thing. Then you kind of cue to this like shady character who's drinking a bunch, and you find out this is Varys, the #1 gladiator. And he calls out Titus like on bullshit. He's like, "No, you faked the end of the fight. I want to see the real fight." And he gets to see it. Basically, Big Gun Bill shoots Saru. Everything stops, and Saru then like duplicates a shit ton, is no longer weighted down or anything, and basically has the upper hand against Big Gun Bill. And then he's replaced with a clone. And you find out now Titus has like a fucking man bun ponytail thing going on. He comes out and he's like in science garb. And you find out that basically Titus has like control of reality or something. They don't really tell you what, but he's stopped everybody time-wise, and he's also manipulated what people saw after this. It kind of goes off the rails here for me. It's the last 2 pages, and it's not so much that it's like wacky or crazy. It just seemed kind of pointless to have done it. But I kind of liked how Varys was mysterious up until then, but they immediately show him and they just say, "Oh, he's Varys the Invincible, and he fights against 100 people." And I feel like that kind of cheapened his character for some reason, but that could be debated. And then we go to the final page, which is like a weird time skip of sorts, and they're essentially talking about like, and you'll find out that, you know, years later, all this stuff played a major role in something. And then you see a bounty on Big Gun Bill as the final thing, which it was referring to the Millennial Curse, which it just seemed kind of weird to have ended on that. I didn't understand where they were going with it, and I'm curious what you guys had thought about it. But that was essentially Hykings Coliseums. There's bounties, gladiators, and weird superpowers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, art was very good. Story was good. It was actually possible to follow what was happening in combat, which is pretty rare for the stuff that we read in this competition.
Yeah.
So big kudos. I half agree with Josh on a statement about the other characters where they usually are there for exposition, but it's also kind of character building for them, because a lot of them are set up for stuff they're going to come to do later. Like the chick who was inside of the prison cell with Nora, I think is his name.
Fu. Nora's the guy.
But the chick, you said Fu?
Fu
is very clearly like an aspiring gladiator, almost like she wants to be as good as the number 2, and then she kind of like bribes Nora into letting him watch, and you find out that Nora, who was floating around on a magic carpet, that's his Mong. He has a Mong.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so he has that. So there's other people with Mong there. I imagine the number 1 has a Mong as well.
Yeah.
And he reminded me very much of like Gilgamesh, where he's just like cocky badass guy. And then Saru at one point uses his hair to heal his wounds. Like he trades his hair to heal his wounds, which was fucking weird. But
he grows it really long or something.
Yeah.
But it's not even like a full panel. It's essentially like a half a panel below the waist, and then the next page he's all healed up.
It shows like his hair like almost disintegrating, like falling off, and he's like, oh, I'm good.
It was weird.
Cool, I guess. You know, I just think it was showing their powers.
Yeah,
but I liked the fight. I thought the fight was really good. I like Billy a lot. I like Saru. When he thought he was gonna die, he was like, "Oh, last words are for chumps" or something. That was pretty fucking cool.
It was good, yeah.
The number 2 gladiator seems cool. She basically goes back to her cell, and she finds out that she's really self-conscious about her fan mail, and she gets a lot of love. Mail. She doesn't want any hate mail. That was great. And then you find out that the reason Saru won is because like he removed his limiters or like surpassed his limits.
Yeah, he
had like some
the scientist comes in or whatever.
Yeah, so he like went like Super Saiyan, and he was like, all right, that's enough. It was like you won. It's like, that's good. And so I don't know if that's because he specifically had restrictions placed on him, or if he literally just like pushed himself so far he went past.
And Sam, you also go for
it. I was saying Billy lost an arm. Do you think he's gonna get a robotic metal arm?
That'd be cool, mate. That'd be cool. I'm for it. Fucking do it up. Yep. So
yeah, and it was kind of weird. There's 2 things I've noticed. So one was that like he does this move to block the swords where he has 2 huge ass guns in front of him, and you assume that was his Mong. But now that I'm thinking about it, his Mong was just to double the weight of anything that's
so his Mong, by the way, which this part confused me, because during the fight, Saru brings up asking, "Are your guns firing bullets or water?" Do you remember reading something?
Oh yeah, he does.
I think that was
so
more
he
like
opens his coat though.
But I wonder if like the water shots, is that his Mong shooting, and like it just doubles of whatever it hits? Because basically his Mong, you find out anything it hits, it doubles the weight.
It doubles, yeah.
So it's like he was blocking, he was getting hit. So I don't know if that's just him like being cocky, like, oh, I don't even feel your shots hitting me, or if like one of his bullets don't really shoot well.
Which is weird, because he initially, after saying that, he'd already been shot once.
Yeah.
Which was wild. So I don't know if I feel like it was more of a cocky thing, because he pulled open his coat. But yeah, he was shooting like randomly sized bullets, which I didn't understand how he was doing. Yeah. I thought this was all associated with his Mong, because he's got this like sharpshooter eye thing, which I don't.
He's got other abilities for sure. Yeah. So they for sure have other abilities, but then they also have a Mong. So I think they just have abilities and a special weapon at the same time.
And he is a Hyking, which they don't really go much into it, so that could also be associated.
But it was like you mentioned, it was a big deal when like the Lord found out that 2 Hykings were going up against each other. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? The Lord also doesn't trust Sono. Is important to note.
Yeah, he does.
Sono seems like one of those like. He might be the actual bad guy.
Sono to me, he comes off as like a like I'm gonna play both sides, like that character where it's like he's just a badass that's fucking around with everything. Very much like Hisoka or someone from Hunter x Hunter is kind of what I would guess he's gonna be.
I got that vibe where he's just kind of doing things for himself. And,
like he's clearly mischievous 100%.
Yeah, and the other thing I just remembered, so Saru kind of talks about how he's got like a rivalry with Varys.
And he had fought him once before already.
Yeah, so he had been deranked, I think it was just kind of weird. And the more you listen to it, I feel like there might be another person he also wants to fight. I can't tell.
But I thought it was weird also because when Saru is fighting Billy, they mentioned like, oh, if Saru wins, he'll get the chance to fight the number 1. It's like, why wouldn't he get the chance to fight the number 2?
Number 2, right? That's how it works.
He just skips right past that.
Consecutive kills, which was also
something
weird.
like that. Yeah.
It was just there was some like minor details that were a little confusing, but I think overall, like, it's got good setup, it's got good,
fantastic art, it flows well.
Art. Yeah,
and what I was talking about in the beginning about modifying the submission, they say on the very first page that they flipped the art for the competition, so that it is more of a manga. So I imagine normally it reads left to right, but they flipped it and now it's right to left. And so they said some of the sound effects might look weird, but I didn't notice a problem at all.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything bad.
I think I read that, and then like the first page after that, there was like a sign that's backwards, but after that, I completely forgot about that.
Okay, I didn't even notice the sign. So
yeah, and so like I said, again, the last 2 pages I felt like could have been removed. I didn't understand the weird like ending.
Yeah, I want to talk about the last 2 pages because
that's what I'm on right now.
Yeah, there's the big 2-pager that it comes like right before when Varys or whatever his name is comes out to fight. Yeah. And so you kind of get a big exposition where you see a bunch of different people, like people that you've never seen before. And they basically kind of talk about how is that they're going to need all the help because the deadly games are upon them. So they're kind of like trying to find strong people from this Coliseum. And they mentioned that the elders have started to move, whatever that is. He wonders what the old man is planning. So that's somebody else. He wants to make sure that the next generation is ready for what's to come. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
They say that they won't stand a chance against the real monsters of the world, especially those that hide in the shadow. So there's some fucked up people out there.
Yeah.
And then he does mention that sooner rather than later, we will make our move and it won't be pretty. So, and then he finished it, so let's at least make it a memorable one, shall we? But they're going to make the move, I guess. Yeah, that one felt, because it felt like, to me,
the first 3 were like, we're the good guys, we're preparing for war. And then that one was like, we're going to...
Yeah, because it felt like they were defensive. The first part was like, oh, we got to prepare for this thing to come. We need to get ready. We need to do this. And then it's like, well, we'll make our move pretty soon, so let's get ready. It's like, okay, so are we defending or are we attacking? Because I'm going to need to know a line of sand.
The pretty part makes it seem like sadistic almost. Yeah. And like Master Titus, like I said, I had to go back and see like, oh, is that the same guy? Because he's got his hair pulled back once he starts getting revealed, and he's in a coat. It's like, I can't tell if he's a good or bad guy. You know?
Yeah, so like I was on board 100% for good guy. Until it got to, it's like, oh, we're going to make our move really soon. And I was like,
exactly.
Maybe he's a bad guy.
Is he playing both sides, maybe? Or like, is he really the bad guy? And it's going to be one of those classics. He's looks like the good guy, but he's playing everybody against the good people.
He does the Eisen thing.
Yeah.
I do
get his hair back. Vibe. I do get an Eisen vibe because he also comes up to Saru when he does the whole like warp reality thing. He basically is like, stick with me. Like, I need you to stick with me kind of thing. And so it kind of feels like it's not like a normal decision to make. Like it seems like it's a weird, like it's a faith jump to be with Titus.
Yeah.
And that's when you actually do find out that, holy shit, Big Gun Billy does not have his fucking arm.
Yeah, like, and they do mention also on the same page that you did mention this, that the Coliseum plays a big part, but it is going to be in the war between the 2 main continents. So it's going to be basically 2 continents fighting against each other is the big setup.
By the Dead Games.
Yeah,
which could be pretty fucking cool. So
yeah,
and I don't know. Like I do like a good ending with setup like that, but the weird part was just that it did like a time jump from where, like they were saying, years later the Doric Coliseum plays a major role. It's like it just feels weird to have said it in that way, I guess, and it kind of made me like,
didn't bother me. I like that.
I don't know.
Did you get upset when fucking Deku says he's gonna be the #1 hero?
Okay. I guess you put it like that. Yeah, that's fair.
It's like that to me was just set up because it was like, it's very hard, as we know, to do a one shot and make it like interesting, like you want to read more. So I think the very couple last pages was like, okay, listen, here's what's gonna come. Here's a brief jump forward. It's like, oh, shit's gonna go fucking down and it's gonna be huge. And I was like, okay, like hell yeah, okay. So it's like, I liked all the characters too. They did a great job. Like, I know you didn't like the fucking side characters, but I thought that was all just characters. Like, I liked all of them.
It's not so much that I didn't like them. It's just, you know, just in this beginning part. And I don't know if it's just because I was aware of it at this point. Because I was writing all their names down, trying to make sure I had them. And except for Shiro's, because I'm a dick.
Sexist. Really.
It just, I know. It just kind of seemed like, what are they doing? Because you kind of, like with Nora, you kind of got like, oh, hey, he works with Sono. But that was about it. But yeah, I did like it, and Yeah, I felt like there's a lot more for it to keep going. It just, there was like a couple minor things that were a little weird, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I'll never read this again because of it.
Yeah. Okay. So that has been the 3 that we read. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So once again, to go over that, we read Cactus Coyote, and that's by $coins, S being the fucking money sign. And then Terra, I think it's -8 is the name of it, and that's by Hefka.
Yeah, Terra-8.
And then Hykings, Doric Coliseum, and that's by Michael M. Maier, M3. You know how it is. So which one did you guys like the most out of all of those?
I gotta go with
Hykings.
Yeah, Hykings. I feel like it was the most cohesive. It has the most prep work done, and like art style is good. So yeah.
I would agree. I think, honestly, no offense to anybody we've already read, I think Hykings has been the best one we've read by far.
Really?
I think it was really concise. It was a good one-shot. It had a battle in it. It moved on. It told you a little bit about the world. I personally like the last couple of pages. I think fucking fantastic. It was like, hey,
those were cool. I like.
Here's all of these cool characters. Bish bosh bish bish bosh boosh. Here's the setup. There's gonna be a big war between 2 continents. Your boy fucking Billy has a fat ass bounty on his head at the end of it. It's like, here you go. So I'm like, okay. It's like, I do want to see more of this. Like, I like that. So from where it left off, it basically is gonna seem like, okay, straight into training / assembling an army. You know, like, let's fucking go, because there's some shit that's about to happen.
And that's good, because I thought, you know, as confusing to me as Cactus Coyote was, I thought it was really unique. So I thought that was like a special mention. And I think Terra-8, if it just got like an extra chapter for us, like if we had extra information or like kind of a development of what happens after that little trading sesh, they were all really good submissions this week.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. These were all good submissions. Terra-8, I feel like was a little bit like Hykings, as in like there's some big tournament thing going on.
Yeah.
Just Hykings just did it a little bit better, and it was longer. So it's like that's a little unfair, but that was the submitted material that we had. And,
and I feel like it could be really good.
Yeah, I think it could be good too. Like I said,
would be great.
All 3 of them. So Terra-8 felt the most like an actual manga out of any of the ones I've ever read.
Yeah.
Cactus Coyote was super fucking unique. Maybe one of the most unique ones we've seen that is actually like a full-blown manga.
Yeah.
Very cartoony, very cool. Would look great in an anime style.
I like the vibe.
Yeah, Jose loved the vibe. And then Hykings, I just like the best. I like the story. I like the characters. I like it's kind of like the gunplay, the special abilities. I like that. That's probably my favorite one so far.
And there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, like what are Hykings, all this stuff. And there wasn't so much like lore dump where it felt like, oh, okay, I know everything.
Overwhelming or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't overwhelming. You knew you could keep up with everything going on. So it was really
and they
good.
actually made the fucking action sequences understandable. So
that's
all I need to fucking say.
It's almost like this was made for you. They've watched the last few missions and they gave everything to Sam. So I appreciate it.
So big congratulations to Hykings, Doric Coliseum by Michael M. Maier. I'm just going to fucking say your full name every time. M3. We loved your manga. Great job. You'll be added to the end screen along with the rest of our winners. So if you guys liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back every week. I think we're going to be back next week as well with more Jump Tezuka. But the week after that, we go back to doing a regular Mangaku. So week break after that one. So be sure to stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe. We'll always have more until we eventually either the contest ends or we fucking read all of them at that point. So this has been Sam with Taku, joined by Josh and Jose. We'll see you guys in the next video.